I didn't have her do it, but I was going to have my wife get some makeup, and I was
Mm-hmm.
going to show up like this,
With a black
and I was
eye.
going, yeah, I was going to take them off, and you going to and obviously I wasn't going to tell you, like I was going to get your like live reaction to me with this black eye, because that's how it felt watching that game.
Yeah.
Uh, Yo, everybody, what's good, man? Y'all know what time it is. It's Thursday night potluck TNP time. Um, we got a couple of things on the docket that we want to talk about, recap the week that was in sports, maybe look ahead to some things for this weekend. But you are welcome to join the conversation in the comments, or if you want to pull up, you're more than welcome to pull up to the show if you want to. I can see you the link. You pull up, talk for a couple of minutes, get your bars off about whatever you want to get your bars off about, and then we can keep it moving. As you can see, my name is A1. This is It's a Black and White Thing. You can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, wherever you get the good podcasts. Searching for It's a Black and White Thing or Brains and Bars. Give us 5 stars, leave a review, and share that audio version of our content. You can also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, IG, Instagram, TikTok by searching at Brains and Bars. We are live right now on YouTube as well. Hit the notification bell, hit the comments. I'm sorry, you can feel free to hit the comments, but hit the notification bell, subscribe, share the broadcast, hit the like button, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's those friends, those guys again, or those men again, or whoever. I forget. I must split up the whole tagline. Um, Battling you made me better. Um,
Way too clever.
you're way too clever. Um, let me. Mama Ward always has it. Like this is the second time she's had to tell me what the shout out to Mama Ward. Tell a
I
friend
thought
to
it was
tell a friend
boys
that
though.
those
She
guys
might be
are
wrong. Tell a friend to tell a
no
friend it's those boys again.
those guys. Either way, it works.
Okay.
We're open to several pronouns that relate to the male species. So um let me get this out the way so I can take these shades off. I don't, because I need my glasses to see, guys.
Right.
So man, shout out to the Niners, man. Y'all got handled though. We gonna talk about it though. We gonna talk about it. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get into it. Um, got a lot of stuff to get into, but before we do all that, as you can see, I'm not doing this by myself. I got my homie riding by my side. A Ward, what's good, man?
Here we are, here, man. I'm putting in my no sweat parlay real quick. I got a little $25 no sweat. Let me boom, we good there. Got it. Clicked it. Probably gonna lose since I rushed it, but no, we're good. I should probably win that one since I actually didn't think about it at all. But nah, man, good. It's been a week, bro. It's been a week, man. I think that I've worked more in the last 3 days of my
Hmm.
actual job than I have in the last 3 months of my actual job. Like, yeah,
Yikes!
which means
Yikes!
my job is pretty easy most of the time. But
But it's just one of them weeks where they just said they tried to turn the sliders up.
yep, they turn the sliders up, and I've been on so many calls and so doing so much, man. But it's good though. It's good to just be reminded, like, yo, you do have a priority here. Like it is necessary for you to do this. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm working on getting a new software program installed at my job, and so it's been a lot of little meetings, which I appreciate. I hate long meetings, so a lot of little meetings to get it going, and we're getting close. But I am ready for this thing to be done, so we can get it launched, so we can officially start messing with it. But so I feel you on that. Um, got a lot of things we want to talk about. Recap the week that was in sports. So we're gonna be talking about WNBA. We're gonna be talking about NFL. We're gonna be talking about college football. We're gonna be talking a little bit of battle rap as well. And so before we want to start there. In the world of battle rap. So, last week we had a conversation. Shout out to Rosenberg Raw. Shout out to the Frozen Boat Bros show.
mhm.
They had a he put up Rosenberg put up a tweet last week that talked about what needs to happen for brand sponsors, big name brand sponsors, to get into battle rap. And I don't know if I said this on the show. I don't think I did, but I mentioned in our battle rap group chat, one of our battle rap group chats said, look, one of the ways that I think the culture can grow is by compliment battles. What Ron is doing with the nicest, um, you know, Obviously, there's three battles that have dropped so far. Yours was the latest. Yours versus Chef Trez. You had Thesaurus and Ilmac, and you had Big K and Hollow the Don. And so I just want you, to, if you can, just for a second, to kind of talk about what the response has been like for you for this compliment battle.
Yeah, this is my first ever compliment battle. I'm not sure if any of the other guys have done them before. I know Big K has done them before. I don't think Hollow had. I'm not sure if the Source or Ilmac had. But writing for it, preparing for it was different. A lot less stress and a lot less pressure. Just knowing that it was kind of like um, a niche type thing. Like it wasn't really going to be looked at on my scrutinized like, oh, did he win? Did he anything like that?
Yeah.
But still trying to entertain and deliver in a more of a humorous way or more of satire, sarcasm, and still actually trying to like have punchlines and different things. It was kind of difficult, to write for, just to train your mind to go from like the negative is easy to point out. We see it, it's so easy to be like, you do this wrong, you do this wrong, turning around and trying to find a way to say what people do well is tough sometimes. And so, it's definitely interesting to prepare for. The event itself, man, great business, great everything. The crowd was nice. They knew what they were there for. They were very engaging, very interactive. Venue was super nice. At the time, I didn't know what the quality of footage was going to look like, but it looked like they had everything taken care of as far as video cameras and all video, audio, video. Seemed to be on point. And then here we go. Now we're 3 days post drop, and yeah, man. So like, bro, just watching the battle itself, under 20 minutes, very digestible. Material that everybody can enjoy. Don't have to know a thing about battle rap. Maybe there's a couple lines here and there that you might need to know. The audios, or the audio visual is just so good. Seeing your opponent laugh and seeing the camera go here and go there. Not always being on you. It just kind of being more of a just a theatrical performance per se. You know what I mean? Really, really dope. And then, in this type of, when there's no pressure on you in this type of battle rap, like content wise, you can try to like move towards those viral type moments. You can try to like, cater to, what you think is going to look good and something that's clipped down into 15, 20, 30 seconds, 1 minute or whatever. And so, whereas in battle rap, if you do that, then you're catering, you're pandering, it's low hanging fruit, it's current event, it's whatever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, with that being said, I had a lot of material that I think that, just has gone over very well amongst the masses of people that follow, whether they be battle rap fans, whether they're Christians, whether they're just fans of rap, whatever it may be, And so, since then, since the drop, just the traction to the videos, through TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and everything like that, it's just been, it's been amazing. It's been 10 times, 15 times more traction than what a regular battle would get. Now that's social media, like when you look at the views on the battle on YouTube, it's not necessarily doing crazy YouTube views. But we're also in a generation of watching something for 1 minute rather than watching something for 20 minutes, And so,
Yep.
We're sitting at like 2 million views, like over all of the social media right now, just on little clips of that battle. And so, that's garnered, thousands of new followers, just different opportunities. People already reached out. Hey, clothing company, can I send you this, or can I sponsor you to wear this in a battle? Hey, I got a church. I've gotten like 4 or 5 different opportunities just to fellowship and network with other people. Just based off that drop in the last 3 days. So yeah, it's been really, really good.
So all of that to say,
all that to say, that's what I actually went crazy in the battle too. So when of the 6 people that have battled thus far, let's give it a buck. I'm literally like 40. I'm like the friend of the year, man. Like I'm Nody or 40, whatever, the nicest of the year, the friend of the year.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I mean, yes, it is a very dope battle. You do go crazy. Your second round, like I have a segment that I clipped that I haven't shared to social media yet, but like it basically leads to the, he hacked into Shannon Sharp's IG live. Like that pattern there in that pocket you get into that leads to that part. I'm like, yo, that's super. It was just super fire.
Yeah, I
Second
like that.
round is incredible. All 3 rounds are dope. Second round's incredible. Obviously, the highlight, the one that's kind of getting a lot of traction is the, I don't feel comfortable even talking behind his back.
Yeah.
Um, Super fires. Trez does his thing too. Like you said, it is the antithesis of what we know battle rap to be. It is about being nice to your opponent. It's about over complimenting your opponent, saying they're the greatest person in the world, but also having there's some comedic timing, some humor to it. And again, the thing I said in the group chat about that is that it allows for people who are battle rap fans to see these artists in a different light, because you always see them one way. It's aggression, it is disrespectful, it is character assassination, right? And granted, people do that in different ways. Some people do it with humor, some people do it, with some entertainment value in terms of how they perform their material, whatever, sound effects and so on and so forth. But it allows you to see these artists in a different light. And it kind of, for the person who's a casual battle rap fan who may not watch every single event, it allows them to break the fourth wall, if you will, right? It allows them to know, okay, this is wrestling, right? Like rap. Shout out to Armand, Wake Up. Shout out to Clock Radio Speakers, but he has a thing where he goes, rap is wrestling, right? Where these things are set up to produce a certain response, to produce it's entertainment. And to me, that is the perfect setting to draw in the casual fan, because the thing I talked about is like, okay, maybe now someone sees A Ward battle and they go, okay, he does this. He's really good at this. A Ward versus, right? And you might get A Ward versus Rum Nitty. You might get A Ward versus Tay Rock, A Ward versus Geechee, or A Verb, or whomever, right? They watch that battle. Oh man, I really like that, right? It's obviously it's a 180 from the nicest, but I can appreciate the art form of what they're doing. And
Yeah.
now it draws them in into different avenues. And now they're going down this rabbit hole. Like you said, now maybe someone wants to contact you for merch or for some type of other business venture or business entity that you can align and connect yourself with. You know what I'm saying? And so I think for King of the Dot, for URL, for RBE, whatever, not to say, I mean, you can't really steal. I mean, you would be stealing the idea from Rome,
Not
but
really,
it would.
because there was compliment battles before the nicest.
True. But I feel like Pat Stay and Rome's kind of set the tone, right? Like
Correct.
that's the one that is like that is. I don't I almost want to say, what did Jay-Z say? I said, yeah, I sampled your line. You was using it wrong. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one that set the tone for what we expect compliment battles to
Yeah.
be. And to me, like again, you're not going to be able to call it the nicest, but I
Right.
think it would be a good idea for these leagues to give fans something a little different. And here's the other part. I know there's a URL crowd that doesn't want to hear this. You got to put it on YouTube. It's got to be in a place where fans, you can throw it on the app eventually, but you got to throw it out there for YouTube, and let people go and grab that content, because you never know where it leads from there. So
Yeah.
again, if you haven't, shout out to Rome, shout out to New Amsterdam Vodka, shout out to Barstool. If you have not checked it out, you can go to, I believe it's on Barstool's page, right?
Yeah. It's on Barstool's page. Yeah.
I'll go to Barstool, look up A Ward versus Chef Trez, the nicest. Watch that. Ilmac and The Source, Big K, Hollow the Don. Go watch all three of those. Go check them out. They're all super dope. But I don't do a podcast with those other five guys. Ward's rounds were the best.
Clearly.
Ward and Chef Trez was the best one. So all due respect, all due respect. It's also, shout out to Natasha. It's also fire because it gives
Very
a
much
little
so.
positivity in a culture that everyone is saying is so toxic. Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I think that one is like people have seen the humor and satire and sarcasm and stuff in my rounds at times attacking my opponents. Like people have never seen the version of Chef Trez like that before. You know what I mean? And so like it really, is just a dope, a way of, showing that we do have fun with this. And for the battler, it doesn't take the competition out of it, because we're still competing to see who can be the nicest. You know what I mean? Like I'm writing as if like I want to win this battle by complimenting you better than you're going to compliment me. So the competition factor is still there too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, man, like go check that out. Go check that out. Go support that, man. Share that as well. Let's keep it moving. Let's jump into the Bags and Bodies. Shout out to Hitman Holla. Bags and Bodies presents Power Moves. I think this is their first like actual big time card. Obviously, we know Hitman has done the Bags and Bodies reality show, but this
Yep.
is their first like big event. And in the typical Hitman fashion, Hitman doesn't do anything on a small level. This is a big stage. I think it's pit style, right? But it can hold 1,000 people in
Yep.
the venue. So hoping to pack that place out. Five battles on the card, which let me say, Hitman, perfect. You don't need 7, 8 battles on the card. No disrespect to anyone who does that. Please do whatever is best for your league. But 5 battles are perfect. Get in, get out, enjoy the rest of our day. Um, Gonna be hosted by Frozen Bros in the building as hosts. They killed it when they hosted KOTD's mass
Mhm.
event. So they're gonna be in the building. Let's go through this card, man. Let's go through this card real quick. So let's start with Snake Eyes and J2. How you feel about that battle?
Yeah, two guys that are just animated, very, very, very hungry, passionate. If you saw their face off, you just seen the energy and intensity, that they both have. I think it's going to be a very energetic battle, a very interesting back and forth. These are two guys that to me, they always bring 3 rounds. Whether you like the material or not, you're gonna. I mean, Snake Eyes is gonna rap, 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 rap. He's gonna have all the aggression. He's gonna be in your face. J2 is gonna do the exact same. They both project well. So in a big venue, if there's hundreds of people in there, there's gonna be no problem. I don't think with projection and performance and entertainment. I think that's important for that first battle. And so yeah, I'm excited for it. If I had to pick a winner, I'd pick J2. I just think J2 writes and delivers and performs a little bit better than Snake Eyes. And Snake Eyes will have that believability, the aggression, and all that. But for me, as a listener, I kind of want to hear the content. I think J2 is just a little bit better.
So first of all, let me shout out J2, man. I tweeted this early, maybe like early spring. But J2's having a phenomenal year, a really dope year. When we get to this Cody list in 2025 and start breaking it down, to me, he should be a shoe-in to be on that top 20 list. I don't know his resume off the top of my head, so please forgive me. But he's I know for sure. I remember the JC battle. I watched that battle. He was dope in that battle. I know he had the one rounder against Av. Av kind of went crazy on him. Twerk kind of went crazy on him. So I mean, not the levels and competition have styled on him at times, but overall, he's had a really good year.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he should be in that top 20. Um, Snake Eyes. Let me say this about Snake Eyes. When you really break down his resume, he's got a sneaky good resume. I don't know if people really
Of
think of
course.
Snake Eyes as
People love
being
battling
like,
somebody they can't lose to.
oh my gosh.
The
I
vets
didn't say it.
do. I'm just
I didn't
saying.
say it. I didn't say it.
The
I didn't
vets
say it.
do. They'll easily take that battle. I mean, and like that's just Snake Eyes. One thing about him is he sells a fight and promotes it, and he deserves every dollar he gets, and he does that better than 98% of battle rappers. You know what I mean? Like he
Hmm.
really does. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But I think when battle rappers are thinking about content and stuff like that, like what are you going to attack me with? What are you going to say to me? How are you going to battle me? Like I don't think battle rappers go into it like, yeah, I can't compete with that, or you know what I mean?
I'm just the host. I'm just the host. Like, don't come for me. I don't want to catch no strays in this. I'm just the host. He said it, not me. Anyway,
He does have an amazing resume, though. He does have an amazing resume.
he does have an amazing resume, and it's one of those like when you think about it, Twerk, Mike P, Battle
Geechee.
Saga. He's got Geechee. He's got Bad News, Rock, right? And here's the other thing I will say. I feel like there's not this is a grudge match, right? This goes back to the issues within the house at Bags and Bodies. It's spilled out in the social media at various points. And so I will say that Snake Eyes has a really I'll say this: wins and losses. I'm not going to argue wins and losses because I feel like some of those are debatables. I will say one of the only kind of grudge matches where I feel like he lost clearly was Mike P. I feel like Mike P beat him clearly when they faced off. But
Mhm.
other than that, man, like I guess you could say Twerk. I feel like Twerk might have gotten a clear win on him. But again, I feel like most of these Ace Amin, him and Ace Amin, I feel like he beat Ace Amin. He battled Stumbles too, right? I can't remember. That was a URL event, I
I
believe.
think so, yeah.
And if I might have my memory is failing me, but I think I might have Stumbles winning that. However, I think it was a good snake eyes. So again, most of these matchups he
He
has
shows
two
up
years
for me.
ago. 2 years ago, they battled. He does really well, and he gives you solid performance. Um, huh.
Snake Eyes
Okay.
is boxing somebody on the Suge card, right?
Listen, I ain't
Yep.
gonna hold you. Respect the Suge. I appreciate what he's trying to do. I can't watch this, man. I can't. I
No,
can't
I'm
watch
gonna
these
watch
folks.
it. We both just still don't believe it's gonna happen until the gloves are on.
Yo, hold up. You lying? He fighting Stumbles?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Yep. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it. If the
Nah.
pay per view comes on and it says they fighting, you're putting that headphone in your ear and you're gonna watch it.
Oh no, man. Like this, I'm going to say what I've said the entire time from the inception of this idea. I don't think this is a good idea.
Suge
I
and
don't.
Av, Stumbles and Snake Eyes, 40
I
bars
saw
fighting.
Bonnie working on her left on Twitter today. She's fighting 40 bars. Man, listen, I pray for everyone involved. I know Instead's fighting.
Yo, what if somebody gets knocked out and says, "But put a beat on. I'll win that right now." Steers is fighting O Red.
Listen, man, much prayer, I'm praying for everybody involved in this event. I just want everyone to come home healthy. I don't want any. Listen, dog, if you lose, your people cannot be trying to fight after the event. You got to take your L like a man or a woman. Like you can't be out here trying to run a fade after you just lost an unsanctioned, because I'm pretty sure this is not sanctioned at all. But you cannot be trying to run the fade with folk after you done got the beats. I'm sorry, you just got to take your L. Just take your L, please, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So wow, Stumbles and Snake Eyes, man. Hey, I hope Suge got security, and I hope he got not top flight security of the world either. Craig, we need the best security in the. Where ARP man's at, who always got that, you know what I'm saying, that AK by his side. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure he in the building. Make sure a couple of them dudes is in the building. Oh my gosh, man. JC, shout to JC, man. J2 clear. I mean, okay. Never forget Snake Eyes has the most egregious case of recycling ever. I said all of that to say this. I'm going Snake Eyes 2-1.
All right, we got to get going to
I'm,
the next.
yes, let's go to the next battle. All right, you versus Av.
Me 3-0. Next battle. All right, Swamp.
I need to go and check out. I'm taking Av 2-1. I'm taking
Until I let you hear something, since I ain't start writing yet.
until I hear some bars. Av 2-1 clear. I need to go check out. Av was on Mr. Temperature Check, and apparently he was talking spicy. So I need to go. I need to go check that out. Shout out to Temperature Check. All right, next battle on the card: Swamp versus T Rex.
Yo, T-Rex is on like a kind of like a little performance spree, right? Like out here doing his thing. I seen this quote on Let's Talk Battle Rap about taking it serious again. I think that's really dope. I just don't see Swamp losing to T-Rex. I don't see it happening. So I think that Rex is going to get around, and then Rex is going to get around, and I think Swamp's going to win 2-1.
I got Rex 2-1. I got Rex 2-1. I do think he's taking it seriously, and we talked about it on the show that when he if he gives you that feel, if he gives you that early 2000s feel, that crowd gets behind him and they get on the side, and it makes it really hard for his opponent to snatch that crowd back. So I got Rex 2-1. I think he's going to show up to rap. I think this is a battle that he wants, by the way. I think that is also a factor in this as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Swamp having a dope year though. Swamp, obviously, we're gonna be in Atlanta, in the South. Not that he travels with a lot of people, but I do think he has a fan base that will support him. And Swamp can be charismatic too.
Mm-hmm.
So that, to me, that's going to be a very a fun battle. I expect some humor, expect some jokes, and I expect at least 3 Rex hat slams, maybe 1 per round, like he did against Chilla. All right, let's keep it moving. Twerk versus Big K. Wow.
It's gonna
Okay.
be an interesting battle. Man. I know they both want the battle. I think it's very important to both of them. If I had to pick, I probably am gonna take. I'm gonna take Twerk. I'm gonna take Twerk 2-1. I think Twerk would like to make an impression out of Big K more than the other. Like making, is that the word? I think, yeah. I think Twerk would like
Example?
example. Yeah, my bad. Make an example out of Big K rather than the other way around. Big K just came off the Rock battle, but I just think Twerk is like, I think he's just like, yo, I'm gonna show you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel that way for some reason, so I'm gonna edge Twerk 2-1.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let me see if the podcast page is blocked by Big K. Hold on, hold on. Let me see something real quick. That's gonna
It's
influence
not.
my
It can't
decision.
be, right?
I mean, for a long time, it is not. It is
All right.
not. Okay, so I want to stay unblocked.
Good.
So with that being said, Big K 2-1.
Got you. Got
Uh
you.
although I will say this, the thing that's gonna be interesting. I don't know what Big K was he on the first two one of the first two max outs?
Yeah, he
I don't
was
think
against Clone and he was against X Factor, right? X Factor, yeah.
okay. So he's in the last 2 or 3 years, he's been in a big stage, large room. Um, I do agree with your point. I do think Twerk is going to show up to try to make an example out of him. I think for me, I think the thing that concerns me about that is again, we're talking about a charismatic guy that people like, and when he
Mhm.
taps into his highest form, he is very hard to beat. I mean, I feel like he was great against pass. The name flips. I don't know, man. I'm sitting here talking about this.
You're gonna take that back. You're going Twerk.
I might go twerk in the group chat, but for appearances, so I can make sure the page doesn't get blocked. We're gonna say Big K 2-1.
Yeah,
We're gonna say Big K
I ain't mad
2-1
at it.
publicly. All right, and then the main event time, man. We got Hitman Holla versus Geechee Gotti.
I'm going Hitman. I think I'm gonna go Hitman.
And you want that back in, huh?
Pause. There you go.
You know what I'm talking about. Well, I'm not. We don't do pause here. You know what I'm talking about.
Uh yes, I definitely want my second half deposit. However, man, to me, like Geechee just hasn't put it all together in a while, like personally. And I just think Hitman, he really tries. Whether his ceiling is lower than Geechee's as far as like battle rap, angle, punch, whatever, like he tries every battle. He's going in there with three of what he believes is going to be three crazy rounds. And I just believe that I'm taking that over, what Geechee has put together lately. I haven't watched the Geechee Miss Hustle battle, so I don't know if he went crazy in it. But, what I've seen lately, Geechee's just kind of coasted.
Mm. I think that's a fair assessment. I think I had him losing to Loso. The judging there, I used to be a big fan of make battles judge and battle rap, and that night I lost all faith in judge battles. I'm like never again. Um, so I disagree with this statement. Shout out to Natasha. She says Hitman has so much to prove. I disagree with that greatly. I think coming off the easy battle. I think people were seriously down on him when he went to Battle Will. People thought he was going to die because it was not a big stage. It was a small room, pit style. And they thought that Will was going to talk to his soul and get him up out of there. And one, it's a highly debatable battle. It ended up being Battle of the Year for some people. And Hitman was really good in that. And I think that Hitman is motivated. Now, whether I think some of this maybe self motivation where you take certain perceived slights and blow them up to maybe give yourself that chip. Yeah, probably. There's a little bit of that MJ factor going on, but Geechee has been talking about him crazy. I just saw a clip from Ruin Your Day. They were watching Hitman, I think in Cass, and he has a line, and Geechee's clowning it, and he's just like, "Woo, wow, did y'all see that? Y'all see how far?" Right? I think Hitman is coming to prove a point because I do think people are looking at Geechee versus Lux. Granted, I know people have him losing the Mook, but they're looking at his resume and saying, "Well, he beat the end game." right? He's been on the stage with Mook, right? I don't know if you can beat this guy. And I think he's showing up with something to prove. I am going Hitman 2-1, not because I think Geechee's going to come lacking, but I just think that Hitman is going again. I think he's motivated. Hopefully, a lot of the outside distractions don't affect him as he prepares for this. And as a league owner, trying to get all this set up, hopefully he can keep those at bay, or his people can keep those things at bay for him. Gotcha. She meant the chip he has on his shoulder. Gotcha.
Mhm.
My apologies. Pardon self. Um, but if I think he shows up, I think he gets a 2-1. I think it's gonna be a highly debatable battle though. Y'all let us know what y'all think, man. How y'all call these battles? Um, Power moves going down November 9th. And it's not quite Atlanta, it's somewhere outside of Atlanta.
Decatur, right?
Uh Decatur, where's greater? I need a vacation. It doesn't say. Yes, Decatur, Georgia. So Atlanta area going down 3 weeks from now, I believe. Shout out to Sydney in the building. Appreciate you. Uh, Listen, he's a Niner fan too. You know, we all. This is a tough week, tough week. Um, but let me know what y'all think about that card. Who y'all got winning and why? Hit us up: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Hit us in the comments. Let us know who y'all got. All right, so let's jump into sports real quick, man. So real quick, I want to talk about this WNBA Finals Game 5, winner take all. The New York Liberty win the first championship in franchise history over the Minnesota Lynx in overtime. I forget the final score. It was not great basketball. Even by women's basketball standards, it was not great basketball for those who have this, well, men's basketball is just better. Never forget, Game 7, Warriors Cavs was terrible. It just had a really dope ending. This one, a highly controversial ending, as with about 2 seconds left, Breonna Stewart gets fouled.
Does she?
Yeah, well, she gets a foul call. She hits 2 free throws, sends it to overtime. Minnesota falls apart completely on offense. I think 5 turnovers. I don't know if they're in a row, but 5 turnovers in overtime. Couldn't buy a bucket. I'm not sure they made one in regulation until in overtime to like the very end.
Yeah.
They lose. So let's start with the controversial play. Was Breonna Stewart fouled on that last second shot in regulation?
It didn't look like a foul to me. I mean, I only watched it 2 or 3 times, and I didn't see anything that constituted a foul at that point. It's frustrating, man, because even going into that, I think it was halftime or in the third quarter, and I looked at the free throw discrepancy, and it was like 16-5, like to New York, And now that doesn't always tell the story, you know what I mean? Like I've said this a million times, like just because there's a free throw discrepancy does not mean the refs are calling it one way or the other, Now it's going to be magnified a lot when it comes down to a last second shot that, Breonna Stewart, who's notably one of the probably top 5 best players in the WNBA, gets the call. But there's a replay system and everything in effect, to look at this, and the call stood, and I just didn't see it to be a foul, The other thing is, you just wonder at times how much this is just going to take it to overtime. Now both teams get a chance in overtime. If the score was tied, do they reverse that call? And still send them to overtime? Because it just, I don't know. But it was kind of just, it was at New York. New York's never won one. Minnesota's won 3, I think. You've got 2 games already in this series where New York come back from 18 or more to win the other 2 games that they did win. It almost felt like this destiny team. But like you said, that last game, I mean, we're in the 60s. I think it's 60-60 going into overtime. And it's just bad. I mean, it just wasn't very good basketball on either part. And so it is what it is. But I thought they kind of got screwed a little bit on that call.
Man, they absolutely got screwed on that call. It was not a foul. She traveled. First of all, let's start there. She took 4 or 5 steps before she even got into the dribble. Shout out to Hungry in the building. But she took 4 or 5 steps. I feel like in overtime, almost every time she caught the ball on the move. She also traveled, by the way.
Yeah.
And then she creates the contact. Not only does she create the contact, I believe it was Stone was her last name. Hands straight up in the air like you taught. does bring it down a little bit, but she gets the ball, never hits her hand. Not even
Mhm.
that rule where hand is part of the ball. No,
Mhm.
she got all ball, does not foul her. You cannot go to replay and then uphold that call. It
Mhm.
looks bad when you have gambling, money on the line. It's a terrible look. It's an even worse look when the commissioner comes down to present the trophy in a dress with the New York City skyline on it. What are we doing, people?
I didn't
What?
see that.
Dog, it was. I thought I was tripping. You know how sometimes people say stuff on social media and like
Yeah.
sometimes you might send it to the group chat. You won't retweet it. You'll send it to the
Yeah.
group chat first because somebody will come to you and say, "Ah, nah,
Nah,
that's
that's
fake."
fake. Yeah.
And so the first couple of times I saw people say it, I was like, "Nah, ain't no way she had on a dress." No, bro, she had on a dress with the New York City skyline on it,
You sure it
presenting
wasn't a
delivered.
situation where she was going to change depending on who won?
I don't know. That would have been a quick outfit change to go get a picture of downtown Minneapolis on a dress. But dog, I'm just like, this looks bad. Now, to the Lynx, I mean, look, Minnesota in overtime, y'all still had a chance to win it.
Yep.
Y'all had a chance to go up 4, and Fee missed the shot. She missed the shot. It was a layup. Was she fouled there? I don't know. But I also feel like they didn't do enough to get her the ball in overtime, and ultimately, that's what cost them. Courtney Williams, I mean, she went from I don't want to what game one, she went crazy. She went from Steph Curry to J.R. Smith. Like just couldn't buy a bucket, reckless, out of control.
Ionescu was what? One for
1 for 19. Listen, that was her Kobe Bryant performance. Never forget Kobe Bryant, game 7 of the NBA Finals, went 6 for 24 in that game 7. 1 for 19 is crazy. I mean, none of the stars really played well.
one for
Collier
19 is
was
crazy when it's game 5 and you're still shooting shots 17, 18, and 19. That's why it's crazy in a close game. I get it,
hey,
shooters shoot, but my goodness, you don't like there's not a game after this. You know what I mean?
dog, listen, I hear you. I feel you. But all I'm saying is this, man. Yes, they got screwed. I think Minnesota should be the champions. I think they should have won the chip. But again, you win the overtime. You had your opportunities to win that game and close it out, and you didn't do it. And that's one of those. I don't know how you pick yourself up and come back to play because you had everything in front of you. And like you mentioned, they blew multiple double digit leads. And I think they might have been up double digits in if they weren't double
Also, the
digits in
New
game
York
5, they were close.
Yankees coach before game 5, I think, had another spiel post game of game 4 about calls, like she was, and that's why it's just like she's in press, post game complaining about the referee and different things like that. And then in game 5, it just seemed to all go your way. It's just kind of like, golly.
Well, I mean, that's the Phil Jackson School of Coaching, right? You go in the post game press conference, you get your bars off, you talk about, well, man, because people brought up game 4. There was a free throw disparity in favor of Minnesota in game 4. And so I can salute that. Also, I understand that the league is expanding. The WNBA
Yeah,
PA
yeah.
has opted out of their deal. They're trying to get more money. If you read up on the situation, I really don't know how much more money they can get. However, I hope with expansion that they do not become more PC in their press conferences because Cheryl Reeve in the press conference went
She
crazy.
did. She
I don't
did.
know how much they gonna fine her, but she got her money's worth. If you gonna go out, if you gonna get a fine, that's how you do
Yeah.
it. That's how you go off. And I don't know if you saw this, but Sandy Brondello, the coach of the Liberty, they brought up the fact that Cheryl Reeve thought that this title was stolen from her, and her first response before she started talking was. I hope they never change, ladies.
Never
Keep that same
change.
energy because it is so much better than listening to guys give canned answers because they don't want to offend anybody's sensibilities. Talk your
Facts.
talk, go crazy, talk your trash, shade each other on social media like y'all do. I love it. It makes the game more entertaining. And I wish the men did it more. They do it to a degree, but not enough for my liking. All right, let's keep it moving, man. Let's jump into the next topic. Let's jump into college football real quick. Big matchup of the weekend of past weekend was Texas
USC
versus
versus
Georgia.
Alabama. Oh, you were. Oh, wait, what?
My
Oh,
bad. I forgot about that. That was a top 25 matchup.
yeah.
Um,
What are we doing?
yeah, I buried the lead. Pardon self. Pardon self. Your reaction to Tennessee and Bama.
My reaction to Tennessee, Alabama is We don't give a damn about the whole state of Alabama. That's all you need to know. And that game was just like the last two games, Arkansas and Florida. It was depressing to watch in the first half, going into halftime with no points. But I'll say this much, man. We have the playmakers and we have the players to be the best, one of the four best teams in the nation. And when they do put it together, we're hard to beat. And our defense is elite, man. They really are. They remind me, I mean, just the way that it's going, it reminds me of the Chiefs with how the offense is just sputtering like crazy. But for some reason, the defense is always keeping them in games. And then at the end of the day, this week and last week against Florida, we made the plays necessary to win a game. Big win against Alabama. They stormed the field again. They got fined $100,000. They pulled the goalpost down. I'm not always, I kind of like that. When you break a 15-year streak, all right, we good. When you turn around and whoop them again at home 2 years later, it's like, come on, man. Like I'm not. But then again, if I was there, probably would have been on the field. So it was a good feeling to win that game. Especially going into a bye week. We have a bye week this week, and got 4 more games: Kentucky, Mississippi State, Georgia, and Vandy. 4 more SEC games, and we have a non-conference against UTEP. So the road there is decent, with Kentucky, Vandy, and Mississippi State. And Georgia's going to be a tough one. When Vandy's not going to be easy, really nobody in the SEC technically is going to be easy. We saw that from the Arkansas game, but it's definitely a little bit easier road than you got for, say, LSU, Texas A&M, or, some of these other teams that are playing multiple ranked teams here down the stretch. So,
I feel like you summed it up there. I don't really have too much to add. I hope Kalen DeBoer's got good security around his house, because they still got to play Texas, right?
No.
Oh, they don't?
I don't think so. No, I think they play A&M. They play Auburn.
You're right. I'm looking at it now. So they got Missouri this weekend. Brady Cook is likely not going to play. Former Notre Dame quarterback Drew Pine is likely going to get the start against Bama. Then they got LSU at LSU. They could lose that game.
So they got LSU, A&M. They have A&M too, right? No?
No. Oklahoma. So Mercer, Oklahoma, Auburn to close.
So Missouri, they got LSU, they got Auburn, and they got Oklahoma. Those are the 4 SEC games they got left. And then but they already got 2 SEC losses. So they're kind of sitting, in a rough spot. Right now, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas have 1 loss. I think LSU and A&M are both undefeated.
In SEC play, yes.
Yeah.
And they play this weekend. They play this weekend in A&M. You already had Garrett Nussmeier say, which I'm not sure why you would do this, but Death Valley gets louder than playing at Kyle Field. You don't want to give the people any ammunition, my guy. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 2 losses. Right now, I guess y'all, in order to play for the SEC championship, they're going to need 10. And this is the thing about getting rid of the conference, the divisions within conference that I think makes this very hard to call. Like, what happens if you have a bunch of 1-loss teams who didn't play each other?
Well, it's not even that. It's like there's going to be a bunch of 2-loss teams, I think. I don't think you're going to get – I think you're going to get maybe a 1-loss team and then a bunch of 2-loss teams, It's possible you just get 2 1-loss teams and you'll be good. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at A&M's schedule right now. They got LSU, South Carolina, which they can be sneaky good.
Yeah.
They close against Texas, and this is the first time they played them since they left for the SEC. So that's going to be a crazy one. And they got Auburn. So, look, it could be maybe A&M and Texas could be for the Big 12. Wow. Could be for the right to play in the SEC title game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ultimately, Tennessee runs the table. They're in. Tennessee loses to Georgia. It runs the table with 2 losses, 1 to Georgia and 1 to Arkansas. I don't know. It seems tough to make that college football playoff if you've got a lot of other 2-loss SEC teams. To me, if you got an Ole Miss or an LSU or somebody else that didn't make the SEC championship, I don't know where you put us. If you're still in the college football playoff with 2 losses, it would have been a lot nicer to have 2 losses to like a Bama and a Georgia, you know what I mean? Rather than the Arkansas loss, which like Bama sitting there in the same situation. They're just like, if they run the table, they lost at Vanderbilt,
I think they beat. So let's make the switch here to segue because let's talk about Texas and Georgia real quick. I do have one big question from that. To me, Georgia is very flawed because their quarterback is very flawed. And I have no idea what version is going to show up from Saturday to Saturday. And to me, when Tennessee and Georgia match up, I am taking Tennessee because I expect Nico, granted, first year starter and all that is going to be tough for him, but you can score on Georgia's defense. We've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen it.
But to me, I'm
and
blanking
Dylan
on
Sampson's the best running back in the SEC. I mean, he is.
And that is probably true, right? I'm pretty sure young ATN will have something to say about that.
Well, Dylan Sampson has 17 touchdowns and 200 more yards rushing than him. So he can say whatever he wants about that. But
I don't know what Carson Beck shows up. Granted, against Texas, he was pretty decent, right? They had a little third quarter lull, but he still turns the ball over way too much for my liking. And to me, that's going to give the edge to Tennessee in that game because that defensive line is going to get pressure. It's going to force them into mistakes, force them into turnovers. And to me, that's going to rule the day in that game. And I think Tennessee beats Georgia and vaults them into contention to play for the SEC title. But let's talk about the other game, top 10 matchup that took place over the weekend. Texas versus Georgia. Georgia jumps all over Texas in the first half. Quinn Ewers look shook. They've brought in Arch Manning even for a series. That didn't go well. They come back with Quinn Ewers, leads them on a little bit of a run to make it a game again. But ultimately in the fourth quarter, Georgia's able to pull away. Texas can't make enough plays, and they pull the big win in Austin. Now, 2 things. What happened on that pass interference play? That is the wildest thing I've ever seen. Pick six, or not pick six, but interception, takes it back deep into opponent territory just for the referees to call a terrible pass interference call, by the way. It was awful. Fans throw stuff on the field. They huddle up. I'm assuming they watch the big screen while they're waiting for the field to get cleared and pick up the flag. I would, if I was Kirby Smart, the fine I would have racked up in post game. I probably would have been close to getting kicked out of the game because I would have been livid.
Because they already huddled up to call the pass interference. It wasn't like the guy dropped the flag and just put his thing on and said pass interference, and then they came over there and said, yo, they huddled up, discussed it, and he called pass interference. Then all the stuff goes, and then it's like, nah, bro. No.
Man, like it's
the right call.
It's the right call. But if you're going to do it, you got to have someone call it, then someone bring you in and have another conference and say, look, I get you just made this call. This is going to make the Georgia sideline very unhappy. It wasn't pass interference. We got to pick this flag up. Or have someone, I think the SEC headquarters is in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Have like a sky judge in Nashville say, guys, you missed that call up. Like, don't pick that flag up. You can't allow a stoppage in play with people throwing stuff on the field for you to watch the big board and go, we got to pick that flag up. You got to live with that call, my guy, unfortunately. And had Texas come back and won that game, I'm pretty sure there would be some type of rule change in place the next day to make sure something like that never happened again. So they got lucky that Georgia was able to hold on and win that game. But going forward, if you are Steve Sarkisian, you've already pulled Quinn Ewers once. Let me look at their schedule. I know that I said they got A&M. I don't think they play LSU. They got Florida this weekend. Let's see. Just put their schedule out of whack. They got Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and A&M. If at any point in these last 4 games, especially that final game, especially if A&M is undefeated in SEC play, and Quinn Ewers struggles, do you bench him for good for Arch Manning?
Well, so that's the thing is I think once you bench him, it's for good. Like, I don't think you can play with Arch like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you should play with Arch like that. You know? So, to me, going into Florida, Kentucky, and I think you said Florida, Kentucky, and
Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky,
so
Texas A&M.
going into those three
I'm
games,
sorry, Vandy this weekend. Excuse me, Vandy this weekend.
Vandy, Arkansas, and Kentucky.
Vandy, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky,
Oh,
A&M.
Vandy, Florida, Kentucky. Excuse me. Okay, going into those three games, you should be a high favorite. They should be double-digit favorite in all three of those games.
I think 17-point spread
For Vandy.
for Vandy.
Yeah. So my thing is this: it's like it's still the SEC, and Arch Manning still hasn't he played against Mississippi State, and he played okay against Mississippi State. I think second half he kind of got it together or whatever. But I think the person that gives you the best chance to win against those three mediocre opponents playing on the road and playing against teams that you're supposed to beat is Quinn Ewers. And hopefully he can string together a couple wins and some confidence going into an A&M game to where you don't have to, you know? But the thing is I don't think you can just throw in Arch Manning and then be like, this ain't working out and bring Ewers back. I think once you throw in Arch Manning, I think Ewers probably just says, all right, I'm going pro. You know what I mean? I'm good. Like, my time here was great or whatever. Like, I mean, he probably won't come out and say it the next day, but, you know, you just fall back, you know, because that's just not – it's not some experiment that you want to deal with Arch. You know what I mean? Like, that's just – yeah.
I'll say this. I think, you know, when your parents, when you're getting on your parents' nerves and they say, you got one more time.
Never happened.
Well, let me speak for myself then. When my mother looked at me and said, you got one more time. If I have to say something else again, it's over for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Quinn.
Yep.
You got one more. I think if he gets pulled again, he's done. Like you said, his time at Texas is done. I doubt he's going to play another year in college somewhere else, although it wouldn't be maybe the worst thing in the world for him.
Right.
He would probably have a lot of suitors in the transfer portal if he decided to bounce. But
I heard Riley Leonard's leaving.
Get him out of here. Although, let me be nice. He's played a lot better. That interception he threw was egregious against Georgia Tech, but he has played a lot better. So when I criticize, I can also be nice and give praise when it's due. So he's still terrible at Mama Ward. I know he was bad.
I was waiting on the comment.
I knew he was bad. I was gonna let him get the lie off. I was gonna let him get the lie off that he didn't get no whoopings. I was gonna let him have that. It was cool. I appreciate you. I appreciate you cleaning it up for us.
I was just testing to see if she was still watching you the sports part, or she bounced in the battle rap. You know, just testing.
But again, if he gets benched again, to me, this is Arch Manning's team going forward, and he will be quarterbacking them through the rest of their games and potentially an SEC title game. And if they make the SEC title game, they're playing in the playoff period. So if they get that far, he'll be the quarterback for the playoff, and it'll be his team for the next, year and a half, right? Because he's got one more year.
He gets benched. Arch takes him to the SEC championship, and Tennessee plays against Arch Manning in the SEC championship. Yes.
And then another Manning can't win a big one in the SEC narrative will then commence.
That Manning to fail miserably.
All right, man. So that's all we got on the college football front. I don't think, obviously, we got real quick. I'm gonna look at top 25 matchups. We got obviously LSU and A&M. Who you got in that matchup?
Oregon is a 21-point favorite over number 20 Illinois.
Yeah, because Illinois can make that game a little tougher than people think, but I think Oregon should win that game.
And then your Fighting Irish are 12.5-point favorite over Navy, which I'm considering taking Navy, man.
Don't do that, man. Don't. You're trying to make me angry.
Just the spread.
You're trying to make me angry. This is what you're doing. You know I hate when you bet on Notre Dame football.
They covered last time.
It does not matter. Don't bet on Notre Dame football.
All that time of possession, bro. Like, come on, man.
Now,
Time of possession.
Navy good is really good on offense, by the way. They're like top 5 in the country in scoring.
Yeah,
Now,
their
granted,
freaking quarterback or running back is right behind Genty on touchdowns, like rushing touchdowns. He's like at 18.
they play bums, but
Or is it
the
Armies?
thing about
I gotta mix that. I might gotta mix. Either way, both of
uh
them.
either way. Now, defensively, they're not that good, but offensively, they can score, and they're not playing football like old Army teams, Navy teams do, where they try to have ball control, to have 8, 9 possessions. No, they're trying to run it up on you. So that game is going to be interesting. My heart's going to be in my throat the entire time because the Notre Dame could absolutely lose. They shouldn't, but they could. But that's neither here nor there. But I do got Notre Dame winning that game. I think Oregon's going to win. Any other matchups between top 25
Well, with that
teams?
LSU A&M game is gonna be big.
You got who you got in that one?
I got A&M.
I'll take A&M at home. Although, look, Brian Kelly, I'll say this about Brian Kelly. I know he's public enemy #1 still for a lot of people at Notre Dame. He knows how to win these types of games. Now, you put him against #8 versus #1, maybe a little bit of a different story. But #14, he can win games against top 15, top 20 teams. The only other matchup is Alabama, Missouri. I'm going to go Alabama if Brady Cook doesn't play. But that's the only other top 25 matchup between ranked teams. So let us know what y'all think. Who y'all got in these matchups? Who y'all got in Oregon, Illinois, Notre Dame, Navy, and Texas and Vanderbilt? #5 versus #25. Hit us up at Brains and Bars, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let's jump to the NFL real quick and let's talk about the game that we convened together last week to watch.
You're just gonna leave out KU State? All right. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, who? Um, San Francisco. I'm glad I didn't go to this game. I probably would have been hot if I had gone to this game in particular. But Chiefs going to San Francisco, beat up on the Niners again. I told Ward before we started I was going to have my wife put some makeup under my eye to make it seem like I had a black eye before we started the show because that's how the team had to feel. That's how Niner fans had to feel after watching the team get beat up on by the Chiefs. The Chiefs improved to 6-0, but not without suffering some major losses. Jalen Watson, broken ankle, I believe, in that game. Obviously, Juju did not play because he's banged up. He's hurt.
Hunt's banged up.
Kareem Hunt's banged up?
Yeah, I seen that. He limited participant in practice yesterday.
Yikes. Suffered injuries across the board. It's so much so that they went and made a trade for DeAndre Hopkins. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but let's go back to the game. Your thoughts on what you saw between the Chiefs and the Niners this past Sunday?
I mean, I just saw like another resilient effort from a team that just knows how to win ball games, you know. And what I thought that it was a much better this past week was our red zone efficiency. A lot of times you saw, you know, this year the Chiefs settling for field goals in the red zone. And I thought, you know, getting the ball in the end zone was really important. I mean, let's keep it a buck, man. Ayuk goes down for the year. Debo's got pneumonia, can't play. Christian McCaffrey's still not back. I mean, the Niners ain't playing with a full set, you know, by any means. You know,
Juwan Jennings was hurt.
Yeah, you know, we laughed at the meme that said, you know, their healthiest receiver got shot in the chest 2 months ago. Like, it's just it's a tough situation for even a quarterback like Brock Purdy, who is a good quarterback, but he needs his weapons. You know,
everybody needs their weapons for sure.
Yeah, you know, and so yeah, I just thought that was I thought that I thought the Chiefs ran the ball pretty well, you know, against the Niners defense. And I just thought they were efficient. You know, Mahomes throws a couple INTs. I think the second one, the receiver falls down. Xavier Worthy falls down. But I definitely know going from that game with Juju out and Worthy, Watson, Mecole being kind of like you just knew the Chiefs had to find somebody. You know, not knowing when Juju was going to be back and just like, they had to find somebody. You know, we talked about, you mentioned like Amari Cooper would have been really, really nice. And there were some other names we threw around. Didn't realize it was going to be Hopkins, but hopefully, we can get some of that, I only fear God.
Yeah, man. Hopkins, I don't know if that was his rookie year or his second. It might have been his second year. But like when that moment happened on Hard Knocks where he told, dang, I can see his face, but can't think of his name.
Yeah, it was a dude that played for the Virginia Tech. Played
He
D-back.
he played for he played cornerback for Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
Dang. But anyway, he tells him, "I fear nobody but God, boy." And then he shakes him so bad that he breaks his ankle on the next play, or at least the next clip they
yeah.
show. I mean, Dre. Oh
I
my
know it too.
gosh.
Now I'm mad.
Now I gotta look it up because it's gonna bother me. It's not Kendall Fuller. He
Nope.
also played at Virginia Tech, and oh gosh. Anyway, I'll keep looking for it. But as far as the game on Sunday, man, like I I was hopeful that they could win the game. I thought they could win the game. Um D'Angelo Hall.
Damn.
D'Angelo Hall. So I was hopeful they could win the game. Thank you. You in the comments, he was telling me, shout out to Boston Titan. He was telling me D'Angelo Hall. I was hopeful they could win the game. And going into halftime, I think they were down, 13-3 at the half. I thought Kyle Shanahan botched the end of half items. We talked about it. He should have called timeout to preserve time so they could get more plays off. Once it got to 13-12, I was hopeful, right? Then Mahomes makes the play that everybody ascribes to being some type of Mahomes magic. And I've already addressed that. That video's on our page at Brains and Bars about what it was and what it wasn't. He makes that play. And not that the game was over at that point. The game was over really when Brock Purdy throws the interception in the end zone for his third pick of the day.
Yeah.
And to me, Brock Purdy, I get it. You don't have all of your weapons, but playing hero ball. Here's the thing that Mahomes has gotten better at, and I feel like he is. I think somebody at the crib said he was playing like Tom Brady when we were watching the game together. Shout out to the homie Dre. Dre made that comment in the group chat earlier that week that he's becoming more like Tom Brady. Maybe he's not going to wow you all the time. Maybe he's not going to have the flashy numbers and the flashy stats. But Patrick Mahomes is learning how to control a football game. And in the moments where you need your player to make a play, he's making that long scramble down the sideline to get you in the red zone. He's evading the rush just long enough to find, I think it might have been Travis Kelce on a
Yeah.
key third down. Or no, it's Noah Gray. Noah Gray, key third down, right? He's doing that Brady thing where just when you think you have hope, it is within your reach. He snatches it away from you. And to me, I get it. The Ravens are playing incredible football. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are going absolutely bonkers right now. But I still am not going to bet against 15 and the Kansas City Chiefs right now until I see it with my own eyes, because it does not matter what happens. That defense is leading the team right now. And this is honestly, for Chiefs fans, this is what you have prayed for your entire life. Defenses for the majority of my time in Kansas City have led the way, and you've never had the quarterback who could either match a team score for score or those 3 or 4 plays a game, make those winning plays. This is Marty Ball with the dynamic quarterback.
Yeah.
This is what this is right now. And so as for the Niners, again, I'm going to repeat it again. I've said it several times. I always thought this was a fringe playoff team. I thought they would finish third in their division. Whether that's going to be good enough to get to the playoffs, I don't think so, but we'll see. I don't think they beat the Cowboys, by the way. They should. I'm not sure they beat the Cowboys because I just don't know, with this team as banged up as it is, if they have enough to get the job done against that team. Hopefully after the bye, though, they'll get some players back.
I heard a stat
Yeah.
that said the Chiefs were number one in the in the league in runs that are 3 to 9 yards. Like one of the most, but then last in the league in runs over 10 yards, And so I think that one thing about Andy and his play calling and just how he approaches things is he knows his personnel. You know what I mean? He's always in tune with what he can do, call, or, to win a football game. And it's not like an Andy Reid team to run between the tackles, that often, to grind it out 4 or 5 yards a game, and figure it out, especially with a running back that just got added to your team, but whatever's working, he knows how to adjust accordingly, And I think that's really important. But yeah, the Niners are definitely in some trouble, man. They still got, good pieces on both sides, but they got to get healthy, got to put it together. Hopefully everything's good with Debo. He can get back. Hopefully
Christian, I think they're saying after their bye. So they have a bye after the Cowboys game. They're thinking if not the Buccaneers game, the Seahawks game,
If the
he'll make
Cowboys
his
weren't
season
so
debut.
trash, I would be like, yeah, you're gonna lose. But the Cowboys are super trash too.
Trash. I don't know if I well, I don't know if I'll go that
The
far,
Cowboys
but
suck.
they're also very injured. They're also very injured. Michael Parsons is not going to play this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not DeAndre. Um, number 90, defensive end.
Lawrence.
I guess DeMarcus Lawrence, excuse me. He's not playing this weekend. He's on IR. I think they have like a couple of defensive backs who are still hurt. So like they're very banged up. They are one dimensional right now. Although I will say Jalen Torbert, if I say his last name right, he's starting to come along and become a solid number 2 option for them.
Yeah.
But right now they can't run the ball well enough to set up the run, set up the pass. So teams are putting all their resources into stopping CD and saying, Dak, you got to find somebody else. And right now, can't find anybody else. So we'll see what happens in that game. As far as the trade, like you mentioned it, I thought they should have gone after the Chiefs should have gone after Amari Cooper. I think he's more dynamic. He's younger. He has less of an injury history. But I do think that DeAndre Hopkins caught 75 passes last year.
He did.
With the ghost of
over 1,000
Ryan,
yards, 7 touchdowns with Will Levis.
with the ghost of Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis. I think that this team, real quick, I want to pull this up and we can before we get out of here. The Chiefs are 6-0. They've gotten victories over over the Ravens, over the Bengals. They've already beaten the Chargers once within the division, right? So I want to share this schedule. Let's look through the schedule and you tell me how many losses you see on the schedule, because it's going to be really hard for someone to overtake them for home field advantage unless they completely fall apart. And it could losing Jalen Watson was huge because he was playing really good football at that corner position. And now they don't really have anyone I think they feel as good about coming in to take his spot. So I'm going to share this screen real quick. We see how many losses we see on this for the rest of the season for the Chiefs. Because they're not going undefeated. That's just not going to happen. They got the Raiders this weekend.
That's a win.
That's a dub. The Buccaneers have lost Chris Godwin and Mike Evans for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, they're limping in too, but Buccaneers are still a tough team. But yeah, they're limping in, definitely.
They're going to lose one of these Broncos games. I think they'll win the one at home.
They're not losing to Bo Nix or Gardner Minshew or Aiden. No.
They're losing one. Listen, Bo Nix is like right-hand Tebow Jr. The original right-hand Tebow.
They might lose to Herbert, but they're not losing to them other two.
Hilarious. Look at they could get Snead back for a second-round pick. They would have just paid him if they was going to do that, my guy.
Yeah.
But let's see. So
they're going to lose to the Bills.
You think they lose?
At Buffalo, I feel like they're going to lose to the Bills.
If they beat, so here's the thing, though. I will say this: if they beat the Bills, to me, they have home field all but locked up. In my opinion,
I think they're going 14-3 at worst.
Oh, this is a dub. This is a dub. They're going to win. They're going to win that game.
They're going to win the Raiders at Arrowhead.
I think they sweep the Raiders games.
Bro, with the Texans and the Bills, and then a bunch of teams that suck. Keep going down. Who's next?
I think they lose this game. I think they lose to the Chargers.
I don't think they're going to go undefeated in the conference. They always find one way to lose a division game or whatever.
I'm trying to think. Let me see what. So Raiders, Bucks, Broncos, dub, Bills. We'll call that a loss. So that'll be their first loss is the Bills.
You might mess around and lose to the Steelers on Christmas.
Listen, hold up. That's one of their losses to me. I think they lose to the Chargers. I think they beat the Browns. I can see a 2-game losing streak. I can see a 2-game losing streak right here. They get
even then, that's only 3 losses. They only gonna have at worst they're gonna be 14-3, and I don't think any of these other teams are gonna have only 3 losses.
I got them at 4. I got them at 13-4. I think I'll take the Bills as an L. I take Chargers rematches an L. Texans L. Steelers L. I'll take those 4 games. Those are the 4 losses I see in their schedule.
I mean, that means you would have them. You would have them losing 3 of their last 5 games going into the playoffs.
Yes, I got them losing to the Broncos too because I said I'll have them losing 1. So 12-5 on my account.
Oh,
which means they would go 6-5 the rest of the way. which isn't good, by the way. But
Yeah, you can't sit
they
here and
all
say the Ravens are playing the best football, but I don't believe they could beat the Chiefs until I see it, and then you believe they're going to lose 5 of the next 11 games to some bums.
you still no. These are the
No,
so listen. The
Broncos, no,
quarterback,
Chargers, no.
the quarterback. You got the Chargers. They were up 10-0 on the Chargers, by the way, till they ran out 17 straight. The Broncos have a really good secondary.
He's
Shout out to
hurt.
my
No,
guy.
he'll be back, right?
Listen, they got lethal weapon back there. They got Riggs and Murtaugh. They got Riley Moss, Patrick Surtain at cornerback, shutting it down. The white man is coming back to take over his corner position. All I'm saying is that could be an L. And
12-5
all
is wild. 14-3 at worst.
I can see that. I'm just saying I can see 5 losses for the Chiefs here.
I can
I can
see
see
15-2. I can see 16-1.
that's crazy. That's crazy. That would require the offense to turn a corner that they haven't shown. Now, granted, we
Really? Because
know
listen. Imagine if we were looking at the schedule right now and they're 6-0 against these 6 teams at the bottom, right? And they had the rest of this schedule, and you were looking at Bengals, Ravens, Saints, 49ers, whatever. You would be like, oh, they're gonna lose that, they're gonna lose that, they're gonna lose that. But we beat those teams. This is a tougher, so we're 6-0 with a tougher schedule than what's left.
I need to see what that second corner position looks like and who they
I ain't mad at that.
if they sign someone in free agency. I know I've heard someone mention Patrick Peterson. I can't think of the other corner that I liked more than Peterson that is still out there that they might sign, or maybe they make a trade for somebody. Maybe they go get Kendall Fuller. I feel like he plays for a team that stinks. Hold
He
on, let me
still
see.
plays?
Excuse me.
Yeah,
He plays for Miami.
they do suck.
So again, maybe they go and trade for a corner. Maybe they go sign a free agent guy off the street to come in and compete if things get a little bit tight for him. Wow, Xavier Howard is still out there. I mean, I'm just saying that's not a
Is
bad
it
look.
safety or is he a corner? He's a corner?
He's a corner.
Okay.
JC Jackson was the other name that was thrown out there that I remember seeing. JC Jackson's out there. Patrick Peterson's felt like Peterson played more safety than corner last year. So yeah, I'm just saying there's some at least people with name recognition out there. So we'll see what happens, man. But that defense has been playing really, really, really good. Right, only right for the next Brady to go undefeated.
Yes.
Got the Nate Sykes, but that could be a Tomlin special. We find a way to lose.
I don't know. That man Tomlin
win.
finds a way to win, bro.
I mean, look, the whole Tomlin has never lost, never had a
That's
losing
why I'm
season.
well compensated. I like that walk off.
He's already got they already got 5 wins. All they need is 4 more. They're going to find their 4
I
wins.
know you don't like Russell Wilson, bro, but he looked decent. He looked the first like 10, bro. He looked decent. Russell Wilson looked decent.
Again, they won 9 games with the ghost of Kenny Pickett playing. You know what I'm saying? Like the corpse of Kenny Pickett. I can't call it the ghost because he's never good to begin with. The corpse of Kenny Pickett playing that game, playing at QB. Russell Wilson doesn't. So let's get. I said this today at work to a guy. Let's get this straight. I am the original Russell Russell Wilson hater. The original Russell Wilson. I was here. I started this barbecue business. I was the one who was hating on him before it became fashionable. Before y'all made it not fun to hate him anymore because y'all took it too far. All right. Here's what I will say. I think Russell got a raw deal in Denver with one of the worst, a second generational failure offensive play caller in Nathaniel Hackett. His father, Paul Hackett, stunk too. And then getting the ghost of Sean Payton. I'm not sure Sean Payton has it anymore. So again, Russ doesn't need to be the Seattle Russell Westbrook. I mean, dang it, I keep saying Russell Westbrook. He doesn't need to be this.
Basketball started, baby.
Shout out to the NBA. It is back, baby. Yeah. I love it. He doesn't need to be peak Russell Wilson to win in Pittsburgh. That defense is ferocious. They have a decent running game. It's not great, but it's good enough. He makes a few plays a game, man, and he can do that. He can do that with his lame self. But I think he can win. They can win that division, right? They still haven't played. Now their schedule is crazy on the second half. They got to play the Ravens, I think, twice in that second half. They got the Chiefs. They play most of their
But they're
their
catching the
divisional
Chiefs on like a
games.
3-game losing streak, apparently. So I mean,
Listen, all I'm saying is look, they got the Commanders. They got, I mean, the Giants is a dub. They still got to take on the Bengals twice. They still got to play the Ravens twice. They
that's
got the
tough.
Eagles.
Yeah, that's real
They
tough. Actually,
close against the So here's their last.
they got 2
That's one.
Ravens, 2 Bengals, Commanders, Eagles, Chiefs. That's 7 tough games right there.
So after the Commanders, this is in order: Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals.
Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. The end of the season is like, yeah,
Crazy. So listen, that well compensated.
we're gonna find out.
We want to find out if he's really well compensated.
And Najee looking good.
Najee's looking good. So that last thing walking out the door here. Hey, Jason Tatum kind of went crazy
He
last
came
night.
out
He
balling.
got busy last night. Olympic who? Olympic what? Oh, if he gonna play
Crazy.
like that,
That
he
man hit
playing like
6 threes, I think. Well, the whole team was just.
oh.
Josh Hart said, "Go test them. Go drug test them."
Woo, they got the pause. And by the way, shout out to LeBron and Bronny playing together. Respectfully, I hope to never see Bronny play again until he's ready, because that was awkward basketball, my guy. They didn't know what to do with that young man out there. They were just trying to get through it. Listen, just don't make me look bad in front of these people.
He almost had a tip
in,
in, bro. He almost had a tip in. I was like, I got kind of hyped, nigga. He got blocked.
Oh my gosh. I was like, ooh, this looked like if they said, hey, Ward, you want to run? Hey, come on. Yeah,
Run
you'll be
around the
good.
screen real quick.
We just need a couple of minutes until my guy get back. He just had to go run to his car real quick. Like, so shout out to LeBron and Bronny for pulling off an historic event with father and son playing together in the NBA. Super dope. But yeah, man, like, and last thing, Minnesota, New York. It's there's 81 more. The issue with old boy that they got from the Knicks, whose name I'm
Julius
blanking on,
Randle.
Julius. One, you cannot play him and Rudy Gobert together. They're not a good fit. The thing that made Cat and the Stifle Tower Rudy Gobert work is because Cat shot jumpers. He wasn't trying to get into the paint, and you got Julius trying to post up, and Rudy standing like, what do I do? Like, what? His man is shading over to him. It's just Julius's low
I don't
thing.
understand that trade, honestly.
It was a lot of one-on-one basketball. It did not look good. The Knicks just missed a lot of shots, and well, they couldn't stop anybody either. That was the other thing. So. But anyway, we could talk NBA. We got 82 games to do that. Okay, this is I feel like a Baptist preacher right now. This is my final thing. Y'all trying to kill Joel Embiid for not playing basketball. Listen, people, I'm going to give myself the ISO screen for this one real quick, because y'all need to hear what I got to say. Listen, people, y'all can't have it both ways. Y'all can't sit here and tell us that 82 games is too long of a season, that nobody cares, that nothing matters but championships, and then get mad when a young man says, I'm never playing back-to-backs again. Or I forget trying to play for MVP status and first team All-NBA status. I'm preserving myself for the postseason. Like, I don't want to hear it. Either all of it matters or only one part of it matters. But y'all got to make up y'all mind. I hear a lot of criticism. He already sitting down. Now, Embiid, the criticism for you, my man. Your knee was still messed up and you went to the Olympics anyway. What was you and Kawhi on? What was y'all doing? Because y'all both wilding. Y'all both wilding out here. Y'all both playing basketball, doing your thing, trying to play and get a gold medal. I understand all this stuff is important. But y'all are costing your team right now. Y'all got a whole little dome open up there in LA, and you out indefinitely, Kawhi. You're out the first week of the season, Joel. I'm just saying. Y'all got to think about the large picture. Shout out to Lux. We're gonna end on a battle rap note. Y'all got to think about the large picture. Y'all got to see the large picture. Don't be another loss. You know what I'm saying? It's a family show, so I can't complete that last bar. But that's our time, man. We're on for an hour and a half. We appreciate everyone who was here. Thank you to everybody in the comments who pulled up. Please make sure you share it, hit retweet, share the broadcast, hit the notification bell, hit the likes. We appreciate y'all, man. Please remember, you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing, but go into the podcast app of your choice, wherever you get the good podcast. Give us 5 stars, leave a comment, share the audio version of this platform. Also, you can check us out weekly, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, searching Brains and Bars. Like the content, hit the notification bell, share the broadcast, tell a friend and tell a friend. It's those guys again. Until next time, it's been a Black
and white
thing, man. We'll holler at y'all next week. Y'all be
Yeah.
easy.